Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. If you're a true Lions fan, buckle up because today's story could completely reshape the way you're thinking about next week's NFL draft. Lions general manager Brad Holmes just wrapped up his annual pre-draft press conference. And while these things usually feel like routine coach speak and media-friendly soundbites, this one had a very different energy. Holmes was measured, yes, but there was something else. A hint of openness. A glimpse into a strategy that might be far more aggressive than most expected. And one specific comment. Let's just say it has fans wondering if something massive could be brewing in Allen Park. So what exactly did Holmes say? And more importantly, what didn't he say? What clues did he leave behind? Could this be the calm before a Lions draft storm unlike anything we've seen since that blockbuster Jameson Williams move in 2022? Stick with us because this story is layered. It's not just about pick number 28. It's about philosophy, about risk, about the kind of deal that could vault Detroit into the true Super Bowl contender tier or leave fans questioning the direction of this team. Let's dive into what happened. Holmes walked into the press room on Thursday with the Lions holding 7 total draft picks for next week. That includes just 2 inside the top 100, number 28 in the first round, and then 1 pick in each of the next 3 rounds. Not a ton of capital. But that didn't stop Holmes from talking about trades. And not just any trades. Because here's where things get interesting. Holmes has already made 12 draft trades in his time as GM. You probably remember the 2022 first-round shocker, moving from pick 32 all the way to 12 to grab Jameson Williams. Or the jump from 29 to 24 last year to land Terrion Arnold, one of the most dynamic defensive backs in the class. But on Thursday, Holmes casually dropped a line that's reverberating through the fan base, that the Williams deal? It wasn't the only time he tried to make a massive leap. I know we made the Jameson Williams trade, Holmes said. That wasn't the only year we tried to do that. Not in that specific position, but for a player, and it takes 2. Wait, what? Let's pause here. That may sound like a throwaway comment to some, but to fans who've watched Holmes closely, this is big, because it reveals a pattern, a willingness to strike, even with limited capital, even with perceived draft board disadvantages. So now the question becomes, could 2024 be another year where Holmes swings for the fences? Picking at number 28, the Lions are in a very familiar zone. Do you remember what the Atlanta Falcons did in 2011 from pick number 27? They shocked the league by moving all the way up to number 6 to draft Julio Jones. They gave up a king's ransom, 5 total picks, including 2 firsts and 2 fourths, but they got their guy, a franchise-altering player. Now, we're not saying the Lions are about to pull a Falcons move. Holmes isn't known for sacrificing future first-rounders, and the Lions don't have a stockpile of picks this year. But what if the right player starts to fall? What if one of those elite edge rushers, the Michael Williams or Jalen Walker types out of Georgia, slips into the teens? Could Holmes find a partner this time around? Could the Lions repeat history, not literally, but spiritually, and pull off a top 15 move that could bring elite talent to the edge position, one of the team's biggest needs? Some insiders believe that Holmes is at least considering it. And here's the other thing, he didn't deny any of it. When asked whether he'd be willing to move up or down, Holmes made it clear, everything's on the table. It's all about value, fit, and opportunity. If the compensation is right and reasonable and makes sense, absolutely, Holmes said. So let's look at the board. With pass rush being both a strength of this draft class and a clear need for Detroit, the stars might be aligning. Could Jalen Walker or Michael Williams be in play if the Lions move into the early 20s? Could someone like Latu or Verse fall a few spots lower than expected? Could Detroit use one of its mid-round picks, or even a future second, to make the leap? That's the intrigue. That's the suspense. And that's the kind of gamble that could define this draft. But the intrigue didn't stop there. Zadarius Smith, remember him? He's been seen around Detroit lately, including courtside at a Pistons game, sparking talk of a potential reunion. But Holmes shut that down. No discussion since last month, he said, reiterating that it's up to Smith's agent to reach back out. Still, the fact that Holmes didn't close the door entirely? That's curious. Could Smith still be a late off-season option? Especially if the Lions don't get the edge help they're targeting in the draft? It's something to keep an eye on. Now, shifting back to the draft, Holmes emphasized again that he's not drafting based on need. He wants the best player available. Always. And while that sounds like a cliche, it comes with a message. Don't assume the Lions will go edge or guard with pick 28. Could they shock us and take a wide receiver? Holmes hinted at it. He mentioned wanting to bring in competition at WR. Dan Campbell echoed that too. And with only Amon-Ra St. Brown under contract beyond 2025, plus Jameson Williams still needing to prove consistency, you never know. And speaking of Williams, Holmes didn't talk much about him directly. But the fact that the Lions hosted Texas standout Matthew Golden for a pre-draft visit, that speaks volumes. Could this be insurance for a Jameson Williams regression? Or is it just part of a larger plan to stack young weapons for Jared Goff? Golden is projected as a late first, early second-round pick. If he's there at 28 and the top edge rushers are gone, would Holmes pull the trigger? It wouldn't be shocking, especially if the draft board is thinning in key spots. And finally, there's the elephant in the room, off-field red flags. Mike Green, the pass rusher out of Marshall, has been climbing boards thanks to his 17-sack season. But he's also facing serious scrutiny after past allegations he denies, and that never led to charges. Holmes made it clear, every case is unique. The Lions do their homework. It's never about just reading a headline. And Holmes said something that stuck, you have to build a house all year long. It's not just a combined decision. That tells us Green could still be on Detroit's board, but only if the deep dive checks out. And that brings us back to the draft. We're just days away now. The mocks are flying. The rumors are swirling. But no one outside of that Allen Park war room knows what's really coming. Could Holmes make another first-round move? Will the Lions land a cornerstone defender? Could we see a surprise pick at wide receiver? Or could Holmes zig where others expect him to zag? Trade down, add capital, and outmaneuver the board? Only time will tell. But what do you think about all of this? Do you believe Brad Holmes is ready to make another splash move in the first round? Would you be willing to part with a second-rounder to move up for a premium pass rusher? And how would you feel if Detroit added another receiver early in the draft? Let me know, because I seriously can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. As for me, I'll be honest, I'm excited, nervous, curious, because this doesn't feel like just another draft for the Lions. This feels like the next chapter of something special. The roster's almost there. The window is opening. And Holmes, well, he might just be ready to push through it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We got everything you need to stay locked in as we head into one of the most unpredictable drafts in recent Lions history. Get ready. Prepare your popcorn. It's almost showtime.